Welcome to Retrobot, the YouTube channel where we feed a friendly space robot a diet of pure nostalgia. I'm Clay, and today we're talking about Warbotron. This is part 2 of our series all about Warbotron, the third-party transforming combiner toy that is heavily inspired by Transformers Combaticons that merge to form Bruticus. So let's dive right in. This is Warbotron in all of his glory, and he does look great. And in this video, we are going to be talking about the character that is inspired by Combaticon Swindle. So that is the leg right here that you can see. And Warbotron really doesn't want to rotate the rest of the way around. There we go. But yes, we're going to be talking about Swindle, this guy right here. So let's go ahead and take a closer look at Warbotron Sly Strike. That's right, Sly Strike. So here you can see Sly Strike in his vehicle mode. And right away, he really does look great. The detail on this vehicle mode is very nicely done. He looks rugged. You can see a lot of nice details in the back end here and on the side panels. He's got a little bit of transformation kibble in the back, but it doesn't look out of place. It seems to be very well integrated, and of course you can see the weapons on the top here, which add a lot. The weapons are removable. You can just pull them right off like this, and you know there's of course the gun comes off here as well, and there's not really a lot of other places to put them other than those places on the roof, but that's fine. And of course the rest of him looks pretty much like a military Jeep or a Humvee, and of course he is inspired by the Transformers Combaticon Swindle, which is sort of what they're alluding to with the name Sly Strike, as kind of evocative of that wheeling, dealing, potentially war profiteering kind of untrustworthy sort that Swindle always was. So let's go ahead and transform him into a robot, and we can see just how much we've got here. Of course, I do love the big knobby tires and the front grille and everything, and the lights on top. The paint deco is very nicely done. So already this toy really does look great. But you know, he's a transforming robot toy, and you gotta transform him if you want to really appreciate it. So let's go ahead. I'm going to start by pulling the front grille down and just pivot that out. We're going to fold up these panels that are on the side here and do the same on the other side. And then these actually split right here at the roof. And while you're doing that, you can even fold up the windshield. And so you separate all that out to kind of unlock some of the other panels. You can see the arms in here. So the next thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to bend the legs, which is the lower half or the back half of the vehicle, and then swivel at the knees. And then at this point, you can pull these panels down, which of course are the feet, and you have this panel inside here, which swings all the way back to give him a heel. And we'll do the same thing on the other side. So there we go. We have a pair of feet. And then we've also got these panels in the back which will swing down and just close up that gap created where the thighs had to collapse inside of the lower legs. So at this point we have legs. Now we need to do the arms. So we have the arms in here, and we're just going to pull them out here like this, and you can see that it's on this swinging panel here. We're going to do the same thing on the other side. And when you do that, you're also going to notice that the wheels are attached on these kind of double jointed linkages right here. And so we're just going to pivot those out of the way, and that's going to help us be able to move things around. So you've got that front grille, and the whole thing actually pulls out like this, and that enables us to rotate the front end of the vehicle down like this to create Sly Strike's chest. And then if you move the windshield out of the way, you can see where the head is hidden, and that's just going to fold up like this and then spin around so that he can face forward. Now we can take these hinged panels here and snap them into place, and then rotate the arm around, and then rotate at the bicep, and open up the little panel on the forearm so that you can flip out the hand. And you really need to have fingernails in order to get those. The hands on all of these characters are actually made to open and close, which is a very nice extra feature that I didn't show in my review of Heavy Noise. That was, I believe his name was Heavy Noise. Just let me look here. Yeah, Heavy Noise. But all of them do have hands that open and close, which is really cool. You know, it's something that you don't see in the normal manufactured toys that are from Hasbro, at least not often. Usually they save that kind of a feature for their more premium lines, like the Masterpiece figures and some of the leader class or commander class figures. So we're going to do the same stuff on the other side. And the nice thing is, because you have that panel, you can close it up and give him a nice solid looking arm. You don't have those hollow places that you see in a lot of the current toys either. So you have this stuff in the back. And what you can do here is you can actually fold this panel right here like this, and then do that, and then fold that out of the way, and you can do the same thing on this side, folding it here and then folding it there, and have that out of the way. I tend to just kind of keep this stuff sort of in the back. You can just kind of make a backpack out of it. If you want, you could sort of spread it out to sort of give him wings. But you know, he's inspired by the Combaticon Swindle. Swindle never had wings, so I just sort of tuck them away the best that I can, and sort of do that. So you do have some Jeep front here, so let's go ahead and pivot that out of the way and collapse that, and then we'll just put that around on his back. And it seems like there should be a way to just kind of flatten that out, but however you do that, it looks like that. And that's not too bad. It's a little bit of back kibble, not terrible. And that gives us Swindle, and then of course you can give him his weapons. And oh wait, it does look like I have his arms upside down. So here we're going to rotate at the bicep so that his arm is facing the right direction. And then we can see this gun. It has the short peg for when it's mounted in vehicle mode. We can give it the longer handle, which is useful when putting him in his hands. And we're just going to do that right there, which is kind of a tight fit. We're going to get there. We are going to get there. It is a little bit tricky to get it to go into his hand. There we go. I like that it's a tight fit, although it is curious to me that throughout this set there are a number of different hole sizes and different shaft diameters and things. You know, they don't have just a single peg size for all holes and all weapons. And that's kind of curious because, of course, if you have the same peg sizes and hole sizes, that means that you can just swap things out in all sorts of different locations. And with Warbotron, you don't get that. A lot of times something will seem like it should be able to be put here or here or here, or swapped with another character or something like that. And it's kind of hit and miss as to whether a weapon will fit into a hole or something like that or not. But let's go ahead and I'll show him in the other camera, and you can see him in all of his glory. So there we go. So here he is. Here is Sly Strike in his robot mode, and I have to say that he looks fantastic. He may be the strongest member of this whole team in terms of overall design and you know, a fantastic vehicle mode combined with an awesome robot mode. You notice that, yeah, there is some back kibble here that that doesn't really do much other than just fold up, but other than that, the arms, the legs, the detail on all of the surfaces. I even really love what they did with the tires here at the shoulders. There's actually a lot that you can do with these because of the way that they're linked on, and you can get kind of creative with it. I prefer to just have them behind the shoulder like this, but you can swing them out to the sides, you can pivot them. There's, you know, they've given you a lot of options. You can even turn them to face the back like this. You look at the head sculpt, and he is expressive. The light piping on his eyes looks great. Here, let's just go ahead and zoom in on that a little bit. You can see he just looks like he's loving life. And while it is heavily inspired by the Combaticon Swindle, he really does have a tremendous amount of personality, and he captures that look while also being distinctively his own. Of course, you can see that the articulation is really, really nice. He's got a lot of shoulder movement here, swivels at the biceps, elbows, the wrists turn, the chest detail is very nice. He's got a swivel at the waist. His hips are fully poseable. He's got swivels in his thighs, knee joints, and then he's got ankle joints as well, which makes him both stable and extremely poseable. So he really does just, in every way, he checks all of the dots. So whether of course you're most likely interested in getting the whole set because, you know, they form Warbotron, but even if you just want a really, really excellent version of a character inspired by Swindle. Sly Strike he's got it all. He really does. He looks great. His joints are nice and tight, which helps him to hold poses. He's expressive. His vehicle mode is a lot of fun. I love the big knobby tires, and the fact that he can open his hands. He can look at you and sneer and kind of try to con you into betraying your friends and convince you that that you want to do it and it's for their own good. So that is Sly Strike. On the secondary market, he's normally around under $90. I have seen him discounted for around $30. So at $90, yeah, he's a more expensive, high-end third-party toy. Not necessarily a bad value when you consider that that third-party toys like these typically do fetch a much higher price point than comparable toys that you would see at a regular retailer. However, when you see them discounted for around $30, it's kind of a steal, especially if you are a fan of the series, a fan of these kinds of toys. You know, you want him, and I'm very glad to have him, and I was able to pick him up on discount, which just makes it a win-win-win. So yeah, very strong recommend on Sly Strike. Possibly the best figure of the Warbotron series, which is saying a lot because so far these guys have been really impressive with a few small conceits that that I will continue to point out as I encounter them. So, if you like this video, then please click the thumbs up, consider subscribing to the channel, and click the notification bell. That way you know when we're doing more of these Short Circuits videos, and as well as our live streams, which we typically do every Friday night at 8 o'clock Eastern United States time. So, with that being said, Warbotron Sly Strike, the figure that is inspired by Transformers Combaticon Swindle. He's awesome. If you like robot toys that turn into military vehicles, you want him. He's really cool. And oh, by the way, he also merges with his teammates to make Warbotron, aka Bruticus, except, you know, third party. So yeah, really cool. Probably want him. He's great. This is Clay telling you to keep it retro bot, because this is Retrobot and you're keeping it. I don't know what that means.